dogs. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Hey, this is my good friend Sean. Sean, this is Robin.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, get comfortable wherever you want. Pull up a chair. We can use this. Make yourself at home. Would you like some chai?
No, actually, I have some tea, but thank you. Is this okay?
Yeah, that's great. Get comfortable. Great sweater. It's nice and warm. It's toasty.
Yes.
On a day like today.
I know, right?
Indeed. Did you have the fog lights put on, or were those on before?
I had those put on.
Okay. Very good. All right. All right. How's my hair look? Everything okay?
Delightful. Yes.
Don't forget your mic.
Good.
Oh, right. How many minutes there, boss?
You got 2 minutes to go.
Okay. Throw this down back,
Is
please.
this like a live deal?
Yeah.
Are you? Woo!
Yeah. Yep. Got it? There we go. Yep. You know the drill. Get in there. Come on. There it is. It's good to have good friends that do stuff like this.
Hey-o.
Whoa! Oh, okay, that's just you. All right. Oh. So does this tweaker go around? So, okay, you got to tell me if that's...
let's go on the other side.
Okay.
So I can make it easy. Just go up. That. And like... Get in there, you son of a...
Biscuit?
There we go.
Thanks. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, Robin. What
Thank you for inviting me.
What compelled you to be our live studio audience today?
Well, how about anything you're doing?
You're so sweet. I'm
I'm
eager.
a big fan.
Well, ditto. We're having a meeting. Will come to order. Mutual Admiration Society. I like it. Like it. Like it.
Okay, I'm behind you. If you're going to face that way, you want me to be here?
Sure.
That might be easier than trying to turn around.
All right.
for your
Sounds good.
audience or whatever.
All right. Do you want a footstool or anything? You're welcome to the ottoman, or I got another stool.
I'm good.
Shawnee Bobani, give me a 2-minute. What do we got? 2 minutes?
20 seconds.
Oh!
Oh, hello.
And none of this table shows, right?
Nope.
This is far out. Okay. Oh, you're not going to let me see it. Dickens.
Distract me.
Oh, someone. No, that's not me. That's you.
That's not me.
That was me.
Oh,
Oh, Rachel sees me. We're live. Hi, Rachel. Are we recording then too?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, hey, Rachel. Good morning in DC. Good morning, everybody. It's Ginger here. Woo! Look at those spotlights. So glad you're here. I'm Ginger, your connection guide and solutionist. Oh, there. I gotta look at the camera. So this is my first live launch. So you get to see the hiccups and all, and I appreciate you being here. In my live studio audience, I have somebody off camera, my fabulous. There she is, Robin. Good morning. My great filmmaker behind the camera. There's Sean. Sean, put a hand out so people know you're real. There you go. Woo! Okay, got it. Make sure the phantom isn't there. Well, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you to all of you who signed up and registered in advance for the 5-day connecting challenge. This is the kickoff of that. And I'm going to do it in 3 segments. So there's going to be 3 pieces for you to watch as you wish. If you're joining us after we've launched live, there's the clock telling us it's 8 o'clock. Actually, the clock is late. Not a good connection. Anyway, if you're joining us afterwards, thanks for being here. Yes, I'm a little irreverent. So we're going to jump right in. The first segment of the Connecting Challenge today is what I call the first move, or how to make a contact. So I'm going to share stories and tactics today, and then we're going to start with a mindset to help you become a comfortable and more confident connector. You ready? All right, I'm going to take that as a yes. So let's go. Number 1. First move, how to make a contact. Connectivity is all about real relationships. It's all about meeting somebody, shaking their hand, seeing them, making eye contact. It's not online, it's not networking. We're going to go into those later at a different time. But I can tell you that the first move is sometimes the biggest move you can make to make sure that you're moving forward and making contacts. Contacts lead to connections. So let's talk about mindset. Mindset is all attitude. I remember my dad saying, lady, you need to adjust your attitude. Like, didn't happen. Okay, it did happen frequently. But it was good as a kid to grow up and really be mindful of my attitude. Mindset is really important. When our mind is open, we can do anything. And it needs to be open. It's a requirement to have an open mind in order to be a true connector, because true connecting is about giving of yourself and receiving in return. It's not woo-woo. It's just like, woohoo, I can do this if I've got it figured out. That's why I'm here. So the beginning of the connectivity is that first move. When we decide we're ready to go, we go. So here's the first story. I want to use stories and tactics to illustrate how connecting works and works well when you are thinking about it, when you're plugging in, when you've got that mindset. So I'm at the grocery store and I see something in front of me with that person with their stuff on the magic conveyor belt. Those things, are there mice under there? I don't think so. But what do I do if I see something that's interesting? Well, I might make an opening comment like, where'd you get those lemons? Did those olives, were they in aisle 2? Or, is that a new brand of ice cream? Something pretty low-key, non-threatening, and specific. I do this all the time for a few reasons. One is I love to grocery shop. I love to cook. I love to have people over. The people in this room actually know that. You're in my kitchen right now. And so it's a natural area of interest for me. So it's something easy for me to talk about. And that's something to think about. So here's the tactic. Choose a topic you enjoy and are reasonably comfortable in talking about with essentially somebody who's a total stranger who you're seeing. You're making that first move. This is not creepy. This is not at the bar. The first move means that you've got that mindset and you're willing to make a first move forward in connecting with them. People like to connect with somebody who is talking about something that they're happy about, and that is contagious, and that's a good contagion to have. So think about that, something safe and non-threatening, easy to talk about. The second reason I make contact at the grocery store is that the line is full of really interesting people, present company included, and maybe I'll connect with one of them. Maybe I'll make a contact and then build a connection. It's happened more than once. The checkers, the vendors, the customers, whoever it might be, take your pick. I talk to all of them because, frankly, to me, everybody has a story and everybody is interested in sharing the story. So if I make that first move, I can make people feel more at ease if it's a topic about which seems pretty neutral. Lemons, fine, you know, they might look at you weird. At the same time, you might find somebody who's a lemon farmer. Who knows? So doing that helps people recognize that you're out and about, and it also helps me when I shop at my local grocery store to get to know my neighborhood. That's also connection. Here's the tactic. Connecting in an establishment you frequent builds your neighborhood. It builds your world, it builds your life, it builds communities. Whatever you want to build, you can do that through connectivity. You look at the most powerful relationships in the world, both with yourself and with the larger part, and you think, wonder how that started. Guess what? It started through connectivity. It wasn't networking, it wasn't online, it was face-to-face, it was connecting. Somebody made a first move somewhere, and then it went from there. So if it's a local joint, more power to you. It's great because then you get to know more of your neighbors again. I know a lot of my neighbors. My living room window is out there, and I'm happy to say I know a lot of them. That kind of connection to where you live is powerful. We'll talk about that in another episode. For the record, connectivity isn't about being pushy. It isn't trying to get somebody to engage if they're not interested. It isn't creepy. It shouldn't be confrontational. It should be easy and simple. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about what do you do after the contact, which is exactly tackling that piece of it. But for right now, we're simply making the first move. We're establishing contact to see if this is somebody we want to connect with. Connecting is done with purpose and on purpose, as I like to say. It's very intentional, and it doesn't have to be heavy or burdensome or somebody waving their finger saying, you should do this. It simply needs to be on purpose and with purpose. You're at an event, you say, that woman looks interesting. I think I'm going to go meet her. Maybe you know nothing else about her other than that's your first move. You're compelled because they look like they would be somebody you would like to meet. Whatever that looks like for you, that's a first move. So keeping it comfortable, keeping it on a safe topic, save the debate and the controversy for later. That happens way later in the relationship. I'm not saying shy away from those things. What I am saying, though, is when you're looking at first moves, look at something that's comfortable and familiar for you first, so you're confident and comfortable in connecting, and then that will radiate outward. So those first moves can be 2 sentences. It could be, did you get the lemons in the produce bin? The person could reply, yes, I did. And then maybe you're done. Guess what? That's still a first move. It still counts, so to speak. If it goes farther, yes, I did. Oh, well, I've been looking for them. Can you tell me where they're at? Yeah, you go around the corner, and I tell you what, I'm making this fabulous lemon pudding, tra-la, tra-la, tra-la. You never know where it's going to go. Maybe the interaction is a whole paragraph. Maybe it's a half hour. Maybe you really like this person, and you go have a beer or a cup of coffee or a cup of chai in our case. Maybe you don't, but either way, you've exercised the first move. You're growing your confidence. You're growing your comfort level of learning how to connect better with people, one-on-one, in person, and live. Take your time. Those tactics of breathing, pausing, those are really useful too. So what happens once you make the first move? Where can it go? It can go anywhere. That's right, it can go anywhere. Present company in my studio today are great examples. I could tell stories on them all day long, but you're going to have to come over to my studio. We'll share a chai and I'll tell you about it so you can tell me about your connecting stories. The beauty and the success and the magic of connecting is that it can go anywhere you want it to go. It's really pretty powerful. And who knows where it can go? Wait a minute, who knows? You do if you're a connector. So when you have that mindset, when you're open to the possibilities, you can do anything. Make sure that when you make that move, that it's comfortable for that other person, just like it's comfortable for you. So story number 2. I hope that somebody is tuned in.
Well, you have about 10 people tuned in right now.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Very cool.
People are allowed to comment as well.
Yes, right? I hope so. Yes, please feel free. Let it rip. So story number 2 takes place in Austin, Texas. It's pre-dawn before a road race. Robin, are you a runner? Do you run?
Oh, heck no.
Heck no. No, it's
a walk.
A walk is good. Okay,
Yeah,
well this was a run. And I was in Austin for business. That's a pretty common response. Those are not the people you're going to connect with, is it? So it's in Austin, Texas, pre-dawn before a road race, a running race. I was there on business, first time in Austin, great town, it's really beautiful. And I heard my name, Ginger. Okay, so since I usually hear my name in either a Thai restaurant or in the veterinarian's office, I figured this was on purpose. So there's either another Ginger in the crowd or somebody's shouting at me. Here we go, everything's possible, right? I turn around and there's Maya. So Maya, if you're tuned in, I remember that was such a great interaction. You're like, hey, and I had my shirt on and you recognized a shirt that we both share in common. And we chatted a little bit and then we parted ways and we went on to the road race. But what a great story of connectivity. It's so cool. Like, how many times has that happened to you in an airport or a grocery store or halfway across the world, wherever it might be, a road race? You're going to see somebody that seems random and unexpected, yet the more you connect, the more you allow yourself that first move to see if there's a connection to be made. So cool. The tactic to that was that Maya and I, in this case, we met years ago at a beer festival in Oregon. I have a feeling I was working in my booth with another branch of my business, and Maya came up very friendly. I don't remember the exact first exchange, but I do remember then seeing her at different events after the fact, and it was so great. I'm like, oh, she keeps showing up. You know, that's not just good for your ego, it's fun because somebody wants to keep connecting with you. So whoever made that first move in that first interaction with Maya and I, that's what it's built. Now she's halfway across the world and she's still sending me emails and it's great to hear from her and I always respond. So that builds, all right, excellent, hey Maya. And that's an example and that happens all the time if we let it. So if we have that open mindset and we let it roll and we relax, boy, everything can happen. These stories, you know, there's a lot of buzz about stories and storytelling right now. These are examples of stories. You've got your own, you've got hundreds. I would love to hear a couple. If you want to share, you can send them to me on my email, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. The stories are what builds connections. And I love the stories. In fact, when I put my stake in the ground for connectivity, I thought, I bet I have a few connecting stories. And then I started thinking about everybody I know. And guess what? Every single one of them is a story of connectivity. And it's so fascinating. So whether it's a past relationship, a current relationship, there's a bunch of future ones coming up too, that's all about connecting. I remember being in airports across the world, turning around and seeing, you know, our backyard neighbor sitting there waiting for someplace else. So the divergence and the coming and going, you can call it the universe, you can call it woo-woo, you can call it coincidence, you can call it whatever you want. When you are a connector, those are super fun. I tell my husband every time we fly, I wonder who I'm going to see. It's not a if, it's a who. So it's really quite fascinating. It's a lot of fun. The first move then starts your journey into connecting. Practice your first moves in a familiar setting, something that's comfortable. In my case, going back to that grocery store, super easy for me, very familiar, very comfortable. Other people are there for food as well, so it's a common topic, you can assume. Be relaxed, don't be creepy, of course. If somebody pushes back, then simply, step back yourself. This is not about forcing something. This is not networking. This is not the card shove. None of that. Connecting is about being natural and organic about it. So if you like the idea, if this has been helpful for you, if this feels like very beginning information for you and it's a refresh, great. Do me a favor, do your friends a favor. If there's somebody who would find this of help and value to them, somebody who is less comfortable, perhaps less confident, perhaps newer to the connecting world, please go ahead and share that with them. I think of students and beginning careerists, people of changing careers, people who are shy, who say, yeah, I want to meet people, I just don't know how. Go ahead and share this with them. I appreciate it, and they'll appreciate it more because you're being a great friend connecting them to something that is a resource for them to help them grow. If this is new to you, then great. Take it, own it, adapt it so it fits you. Watch it again. It'll be recorded here on my YouTube channel, and you can watch it when you like. And you'll find that once you start doing this, you're going to want to keep going. You're going to want to keep trying and doing and so forth, because there's always more opportunity for a connector. So I'm Ginger. I appreciate you joining me today on the launch of the first of the 5 days of the 5-Day Connecting Challenge. I'm not going to broadcast live 5 days, but I am going to, for the people who registered, they get an email every day and a bunch of resources and materials that can help them in their connecting endeavors. And if you like this, you can tune in for the following webinar in a couple weeks. If you're interested in registering for that, it's totally free. It's a good F word. And you can send me an email, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. That is a good F word, isn't it? It's right up there with food and fun and filming. Yeah, so part of the new ground we're going to cover in 2 weeks too is a concept I call FUFT, follow up and follow through. It's an essential element to being a really strong and healthy and capable, confident, comfortable connector. So again, if you want to register for that, you can join me, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. Some of you have given me questions and ideas to ponder as well, so thank you all for doing that. And if you are registered, and even if you're not, you're welcome to send those to me at my email, because if you're thinking about connecting and you have questions and quandaries about, how do I do this? And this is something I want to do, but I'm not sure how to do it. Go ahead and send them to me. That's why I'm here. Keep them coming. I'll address them in future segments if I don't get to them today. So they're great topics, and some of them deserve their own episode. So that's another option. And for those of you who registered, again, thanks. You're watching live. I appreciate it. I hope you're all comfortable with a cup of something of refreshment for yourself.
Do you want people asking questions on here?
They sure can. I don't know if I'll get to them today, but I'll get to them after the fact. So if they want to ask questions, go ahead. It's a really cool format on YouTube. So you'll also see a follow-up for those of you who are registered with this outline and details. So if that's of use, there you go. For everybody, I offer services on connectivity. This isn't a hard sell. It's just laying it out there. If you're interested in a connecting coach, some speaking, training, things like that, you can reach out to me. You can find out more information at gingerjohnson.com. That's my website. It's got that full complement of all those good things. There's going to be a follow-up series to this too, so if you're interested in that, you can certainly tap me there. I'm also on Twitter at gingerjohnson.com. So it's gone 15 minutes. There's the clock. This has been the first episode of the 5-Day Connecting Challenge. I'm Ginger, your host and connectionist. We talked about making the first move, how to make contact in connectivity. I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, just a couple minutes, and we'll be back at 20 past the hour. My filmmaker's keeping me on track. And so if you're watching live, you can get up and do whatever you want, or you can sit and do whatever you want. I'm not in charge of you today. And for those of you in the studio audience, we're going to mill about for a couple minutes, and we'll be back with more connecting in a minute. If you're coming to this after the live recording, you can simply click on the next video in this series. It's the Why in the Road. So we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Great. Fun. We have a comment from, I'm going to mess this up.
Oh, yes, please. Let's take comments in between.
Carmine.
Oh, Carmine. Yes. Hey, Carmine. Thanks for being here. Yes. What's from Arcadia in Michigan. What's she got?
She says, ooh.
Ooh, let's see. Is that ooh?
And then Julie Johnson, Brava Ginger from Julie.
Oh, excellent. She's my editor. Mwah. Thank you. We're writing a book, by the way. I'm so glad Julie is here this morning. Thank you. I hope the snow is gone because I know you don't like it, Julie. She's in North Carolina. And we're writing our next book, The Connectivity Canon, which is coming up this spring.
Canon, like...
Yeah, as in we're going to tack it to the door like Martin Luther kind of thing.
All right.
Going to go a little overboard. Ooh, I can see a good film on that. You up for that?
Absolutely.
Nothing like a good filmmaker, folks.
Yeah.
Do you need some more chai? Do you want some chai? Anybody? Anybody want some chai? Come on over.
Let's try some now. Yeah, it's looking good.
All right, and I trust you'll keep me on time.
Carmen says she's excited about the next webinar.
Yes. Carmine is
We
with...
are too, Carmen.
I think it's Carmine.
Carmen, yeah.
Carmine, type in yes if we're pronouncing that right. Carmine. 'Cause I don't think you and I had the opportunity to meet when I was in Michigan about a year ago at the Michigan Brewers Guild. That was lots of fun. It's hot. I suppose that's what happens when you leave it on the stove. I have connected with the temperature of that chai.
You're like, okay.
I got it. Yeah, it's good. Hey everybody, if you're tuning into this channel by sheer happy coincidence, I'm Ginger. We're going to launch into another approximately 15 to 18 minute video on connectivity in just a couple minutes. Or maybe less than that.
So you don't
About,
like the
about
whole
1
time,
minute from now.
It's live.
but you're just giving them a break.
Yes. I figured, that's a good question. Robin asked if this was live the whole time. Yes, it is. So this is like the heyday of TV. And,
Oh, technically pronounced Carmen.
oh,
It's Latvian.
okay. Good to know.
Lemony Fresh, which is Maya,
Lemony
says if you talk on topics you're comfortable with, that means you got to know yourself.
True.
Yeah.
You are right, Maya. Absolutely.
So don't talk about stuff you don't know.
Yeah, that's
Makes
digging
a
a
lot of-
hole. Let me go get you a shovel on
Then
that
you're
one.
lying, like,
Yeah, and Maya, that's not you. You're really good at connecting with people. Look at us. Yes. You were saying? Oh, it's live. Yes, it's live. So anybody tuning in by incidence on my channel, it's shooting live. It'll be recorded afterwards. I decided to break 60 minutes into 30 chunks because I think, I'm not sure that Brooke is on right now, but Brooke had registered for it. She said, I got some at 8:30. So I thought, why not go with one concept in a shorter amount of time? My friend Annie, who I don't know if she's on today, said that length of 15 minutes is really great for a lot of people, especially those who watch podcasts. Rachel, I know you watch a lot of podcasts. And that's, from going from home to the office or riding the bus or whatever it might be. So that's a good length for a lot of people. So I'm going to go with that. So are we ready?
Ready to take a sip?
Time? Hey everybody, welcome. I am Ginger, your Take two. Hey everybody, good morning. I am Ginger, your connecting guide and coach, and we are here for the part 2, second segment on the 5-day connecting challenge launch day. So welcome. Woo! Crowd goes wild. So the first section was about making the first move. Connecting is in-person connections, building relationships on purpose and with purpose, to give you that as a framework. The first section was about making the first move. How do I make a contact with somebody to see if they're a connection I want to build? And this second section is the why in the road, as in a why. And it's, what do I do after the first move? So I've been in that grocery store that you keep talking about. I am out and about at business events, whatever it might be. I've made the first move. Now what? Great question. So this is part of the 5-day connecting challenge. And thanks for those of you who are joining me live. I really appreciate it. It's great. And thanks, keep the comments coming in that, I think it's in the left-hand side, so stage left for you. And I will either acknowledge them here or I'll address them at later. Some of you have sent in questions and queries leading up to this challenge as well. I will cover them probably in future segments because some of them are really great questions that deserve their own episode. So thank you for that. So let's go right into number 2. The second section of the 5-day connecting challenge, which is the why in the road. What do I do after the first move? I've made that comment. I've initiated something. I want to see if somebody wants to connect. My friend Robin is over here in the studio audience. My friend Sean is behind the film camera there. So I've made first contacts with both of them quite some time ago. Great stories, both of them. I was telling Sean about our first encounter. I don't think we even met the first time I saw you, but that was a connection. I remember seeing you and I think, oh, wow, she looks like a really interesting person, so I want to meet her. So I did. That was my first move. So back to the task at hand. We've learned how to make the first move, make the contact. Now it's the why in the road. What do I do after the first move? So what do we do? Well, today I'm going to share stories and tactics. We're going to start with mindset. I like using stories as that example. We all have them. You all have great stories. And the tactics that go with them. I'm a very how-to person. I want to know how to do something. And I'm going to assume that some of you want that also, because it sounds all well and good to be, yeah, but Ginger, you're just naturally gregarious. Here's the little secret. I didn't come out this way. I developed into the person I am, and I love the compliment when people give me, like, Ginger, wow, you know a lot of people. It's not an ego trip for me. It's the fact that I've taken the first move with a lot of different people, and I've built that into a connection that means something. So that is what connectivity is all about. In person, internal, external, on purpose, with purpose, interactions with people. That's a phenomenal opportunity just waiting for you. So we've reached the why in the road. We've had that first move. What do we do next? First of all, let's cover mindset. Mindset is your attitude. If anybody's ever told you, like my dad did when I was little, to get an attitude adjustment, I wouldn't snark back and say, Dad, where do I get one? That would have been a really bad choice. But I did know what he meant, and he meant that be mindful of where your head is, and that's also known as mindset. Mindset's really important. In fact, it's essential if we're going to be open to opportunity. And by the way, this is open to opportunity for us making that first move and getting to that why in the road, as well as other people feeling comfortable to approach us. Robin in our studio audience, who's just off screen today, she's a great example. I saw her at a charity event, and I thought she had this great lively personality, and she was dancing, and I thought, wow, I love to dance too, and it's always fun to meet other people who like to dance. And so at a right moment in the future, I'll make that first move, I'll hit the why in the road. We're well past that, which I'm super grateful for, and we have connected, and we've done it in person. And so that's why the mindset of being open, I was open to figuring out who this person was. She was open to me approaching her, and off we go. So we hit that why in the road. The why in the road is after your first move, and the why has 2 tines. You know, people talk about forks, but when I see a fork, it usually has more than 2 tines, unless it's like a big old stabby barbecue fork. So let's talk about the 2 arms of the Y. It's not a V, it's a Y. There, maybe that's better. It's just got a fat lump in the road. The Y in the road is 2 choices. So you hit you've made your contact, that's where the Y comes together, and your choices are really quite simple, and please don't overthink them. These are really supposed to be really elemental. The first Y is, yes, I want to make a connection. You've had that first interaction, you've had that first move. Yes, I want to make a connection. That's one Y. The other Y, the other arm of the Y is, nope, I don't think so, for whatever reason. And you know what? That's totally okay. If you don't want to make a connection, you're not going to be authentic, you're not going to be comfortable, just like Maya commented in the earlier video. You got to be you. And so if you're you, you'll be your best you. It's not corny, it's true. Ooh, Dr. Seuss in the room. Anyway. If you're you, if you're relaxed, if you're comfortable, when you hit that Y in the road and you either say yes or you say no, either way you're making progress, because by saying no, you say yes. That means that this isn't the right fit, so I'm going to go this way, and I bet I'll find somebody else. I think there's a few billion people on the planet. Odds are good that you're going to find somebody else. So give yourself that permission. The other part of the Y in the road is your own why, as in W-H-Y. Why do we do things is a huge question. I've done a whole bunch of qualitative research. It's studying the psychographic, the decision-making process on how we choose to do things and not do things, quite frankly. It's our behaviors, it's our habits, it's our patterns, it's our background, experience, plug in, a whole bunch of other things there. That why, as in, I wonder why, is driving everything. So going back to Maya's comment that you have to be comfortable being you in order to make progress, she's absolutely right. So she's figured out that she's comfortable being her, and her why in why she wants to connect has its own resonance and its own purpose. Once you help yourself figure that out with that open mindset, you can make a lot of progress. This is not a volume game, too, people, for the record. Networking might be a numbers game. Connectivity never is a numbers game. It's always about the real relationships you can develop. So we're going to talk about that in the future. Please keep that in mind. This is not the card shove. This is not the networking event. Those are different. Some of those pieces have a place, in my opinion, some of them don't. We're talking about connectivity today. I'm Ginger, your connecting guide, and I want to help you become a comfortable and confident connector, building relationships that are meaningful and purposeful for you and our bigger world at large. Goodness knows we need it. So, story number 1. In my own endeavors, I tend to travel by air a lot. Shout out to Alaska Air. Love them. They've even upgraded me to first class a couple times. Nice. Yeah, right. Woo! Don't know where that came from, but keep it coming, Alaska. So travel is loaded with connecting potential, and I love it because every time I go to my local airport, I get up to the counter and I give them my bag, and I invariably, there's a why. I either see somebody I know, somebody like Elvira, or I see somebody I don't know, and it's a great opportunity to connect. They're working hard. Keep it light, keep it friendly, keep it positive. You make a terrific impression. You feel good, people. I don't know which fins, like endorphins or serotonins or whatever's going on in there. That's for an endocrinologist, perhaps. But I know that it feels good, and it feels good to that other person, too, because they feel like they're in the moment with you, and you're happy, and you're making progress. You make that story happen. You've walked in the door, you've made your contact, you walk up to the counter, there's a Y in the road. Are you going to connect, or are you not going to connect? It's surely up to you. We're not judging here. However, I can tell you that when you connect with somebody like an airline counter worker, you can make their day pretty easily. They're people just like you and me. They're working hard. They're thinking about how they best can serve you. You can best serve them and yourself by offering a little piece of connection to make their day better. Here's the tactic. Making contact with people on the front lines of travel, that can change your world, my friends. Chances are high that they want your trip to go better than even you do. Because what happens if the plane stays on the ground? It's way more of a hassle to them. If we can stay cool and calm and collected and kind, there's a lot of connectivity, we will make so much more progress. We'll be so much more relaxed too. I mean, here's an example. I went to Las Vegas a few years ago to speak at a conference. And I walked from the airport to Caesar's Palace. It's really not that far, it's only 4 miles. But I got in, and the staff at the front counter was amazed. And I didn't do it to try to impress somebody. I'm like, it's a good day for a walk, let's just go. I get up to check in. The gentleman at the counter said, we entered into some banter. They're very well trained in hospitality. They understand what it's like to connect with their guests. And I was telling him, and I was laughing, and I probably needed a shower. But I was happy, and so was he. And he said, well, Miss Johnson, we're just going to upgrade you to the penthouse for the night. Seriously, the penthouse at Caesar's Palace. It was nuts. Now, I don't know if it's the penthouse, but it was bigger than my house times 2. And it was so much fun. And I have to believe that part of that was simply because I was having a good time with them. I was respecting them. I was connecting with them on a very human, personal level. And I got a penthouse. The only bummer is I didn't have anybody to share it with. Like, the room looked empty even though I had my bags. So that's the tactic there. Story 2. To make sure you realize that a penthouse stay doesn't happen in a vacuum, here's another one. Let's take air travel again. How many times have you retained your cool and calm demeanor when your flight is delayed? Have you done that? I'm going to assume this fine audience has done that. I'm going to assume that some of us get a little hot under the collar sometimes. I will put myself in that court in days past, but I don't do that anymore. I realized a long time ago that it's way better for me, my blood pressure, everybody around me, to stay cool and calm. Because guess what? Again, it's way more of a hassle for the people who are trying to sort this out, i.e. the airline folks in this case, than me. It's an inconvenience, yeah, but big deal. In the big scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. If I maintain my cool and calm demeanor, I will better connect with the people who are there to serve me. I'm not putting myself on the martyr post here, folks. I'm simply using these as examples. If we stay cool, calm, collected, happy, safe, we're fine. We're going to be great. People gravitate towards people who are calm and collected and professional. All those things, those are really important to connectivity. The kicker here is that it has to be authentic. You need to make sure, it's not much of a kicker if you're already doing that, you need to make sure that this is being true to you. So take that kind of tactic, which is setting a classy, calm example. There's everything okay about speaking up. There's everything okay about going up to the counter and saying, so can you tell me, I'm not quite clear on what's going on. Can you please tell me what to expect? And if they bark back, just give them a moment. You know what, I'll be back and I'll check later. There's so many ways to build that connection in a not so ideal situation simply by saying calm and cool. And I tell you what, I'm a really impatient person. The people in this room know that. Some of you out there know that. So it takes effort. I'm not saying that connectivity is all easy and daisies for everybody. I am saying that when you practice it, that learning a long time ago to not be the a-hole, that served me well, because then what happens? Everybody is happier, everything runs smoother, there's a lot of good momentum. That's connectivity. You've connected with yourself first, said I'm going to stay calm, I'm going to be cool about this, and that rubs off on everybody. So I think that's really important. So the lesson right now is that you've built your connecting possibilities. If you've watched the first video, the how to make the first move, this is the why in the road. What do we do after we make that first move, that first contact? Then you're on your way to being a great connector. Maybe you already are. Maybe this enhances something. If you know somebody else who can use this, please go ahead and forward this to them and help them build their skills as well. Being a connector happens one-on-one. It happens on purpose. It happens with purpose. It doesn't have to be the live-all, end-all. And it can make your day great. It can make somebody else's day great. So as a connectionist, as a speaker, I know that these things can help you if you take them, make them your own, adopt the style that works for you, and try it. Try your first move, make that first contact. Get to the why in the road, know your why, W-H-Y, why you're doing it and why you're not doing it, and then keep going. The third video is coming right up. If you're here live, stay tuned. I've got a couple more things yet, but we're gonna have the third segment starting at 20 till the hour, and that will wrap up a nice little beginning sequence for connecting. I wanna let you know that if you are here live, woohoo, props up, super glad you're here. And if you are here live, you're gonna get an email following these videos, and I'll give you some more material for the 5-day connecting challenge, which is this whole reason we have the studio audience, and we're launching on this lovely winter day in Southern Oregon. And if you're tuning in after the fact, or if you happen upon us, then you can join in with this connecting challenge. Send me an email to register. It's totally free. There's our favorite F word again. Well, it's one of them, right? We have several, yes. Several. Yeah, food, fun, free, film. Anybody else? Yeah, lots of good ones.
Figs.
Figs. Oh, I love figs. Right, I love to connect with figs. That's a good connection. Nicely done, Sean. Sean Mark Nipper with Real House Films is behind the camera. My fine colleague and friend Robin, a fantastic world-class realtor and speaker, is over here to my left. And two great examples of connecting and making the world better. Sean did not come here on volunteer basis. Robin did. Well, Sean volunteered to take the job. He didn't have to take the job because we're really connected. Yes. So if you want to tune in for the follow-up in 2 weeks, if you're registered, you're going to get the notice already. We're going to cover what I call FUFT. Follow up and follow through. It sounds fun. I feel like I need to have some sort of big fluffy prop, like that sweater you have that looks like a Yeti.
Oh, right.
Yes, we'll have you bring that next time. But follow up and follow through is what FUFT stands for. It's an elemental essential for connectors. You have to follow up and follow through in order for your connecting to really get the juice and the wherewithal, the purpose, the meaning that you can intend. And it's pretty darn powerful stuff. It's the #1 thing that I find that people miss. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it is the #1 area where you can improve. It's the #1 opportunity growth area. There, I'll put it that way. Very positive. If you don't do it, you never get to where you could go. If you do it, whoo, the world is not only your penthouse, it's your oyster. And oysters are great with stout, and it's not too early for that. Right, Rachel? Right. So some of you gave me some questions to ponder in leading up to this. Thank you for all those. Keep them coming. You had some terrific, well, I've been in this situation and I'm thinking about going in this situation, or I had a previous relationship and I'm wondering about how to reinvigorate it. Those are great questions. Thank you so much. I will cover them in future segments. Most of them deserve their own standalone episode. So keep them coming. I'm here as your connecting guide. Happy to answer those questions in the future. So keep tuning in. For those of you not attending live on this fine January day in 2018, I do offer a variety of services on connecting. It's speaking, training, coaching. I'm not going to give you a hard sell here. Just letting you know that if you like this, there's more where that came from. You can check that out at gingerjohnson.com. My number's listed on the website. I always welcome phone calls. You're welcome to give me your best shot. Send me that email as well at ginger@gingerjohnson.com, or check out the website gingerjohnson.com. I'm also on Twitter, so those of you who like to tweet, feel free to flap along. One more thing before we call this one to order. I am going to have another series coming up on connectivity. It's going to be a 6-part series. If you're interested in learning more about that, we're going to take these first 3 concepts, expand them, make them deeper and more meaningful. We're going to do some one-on-one coaching and conversations. So if you're interested in getting in on that, send me an email. Once again, this isn't a standing offer. I've got an introductory class beginning in February, special price, limited seats. If you're interested after that fact, contact me anyway. There's always going to be some good stuff going on. So thanks for joining me today. I'm Ginger, your connecting host and guide. My goal is to help you learn how to connect comfortably and confidently in your world, and for those of you, those other people around you. And so I'm glad you're here. This was segment 2, the why in the road of the 5-day connecting challenge. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with section 3.
Yay.
Great. All right, now I want to tell the audience that you are going to see no video for a second. I'm going to change batteries, but stay with us. It's going to like a little green thing that says no live stream, whatever, but hold.
This page left intentionally blank.
20 seconds, yeah, exactly.
All right, and more comments are always welcome, of course.
The class that I'm going to be teaching starting next week, one of the things, Jim and I had some conversations, and he did the, what would you do if you had no fear thing, Feeney and I would do this. Yesterday, did a video email.
Excellent.
And I sent it to my contact at Buffini to see if she could get it to him.
How did you get a contact with Buffini, Robin?
Because it's, because I'm teaching this class.
They have you back on your poster.
Among other things, yes, of course. Oops. Sorry.
Focus here. Get you back in. Where are you?
I'm right here. I'm over here, Sean. You see me?
There we go.
Ooh,
Good.
Wah.
Okay.
Back in a minute or two.
Comment in the comment section. Let me know you can still see the stream. You should be able to. I think it was just quite brief. Yeah.
So, carry on.
How much time do you need to get ready?
Give me the 2-minute.
Okay.
Well, we're 8:40 is where we want to start again.
8:40. We have 12 seconds to go.
Okay. So, keep going.
So anyway, she didn't get it last night, and so I sent it again, and I'll probably talk to her this morning.
Oh, that's right.
We can make some tea for you. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, because
You're willing to?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, good. And I'm going to get back to you on which ones I want to attend. Okay. You're telling me good to say stop.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Like, good, I'm glad you like it. I'm going to keep pouring.
yeah, it would be good to let me kind of get into it and see how it's working. You know, how I'm going to be formatting it. And, the first day I watched the video on the first day. The first day is all context and just, yay, here's what's a peak producer. And I don't have very much to do. Just like welcome.
I still want to see you.
And then here's the assignment. So I did send them out a video though yesterday.
Good.
With them, to send me their expectations for the class. And I'm going to kind of do that this week.
Okay. Good.
Give them little assignments and prep. Kind of rev up. So.
Excellent.
We'll see.
Yes.
Says the screen is working great. Thank you so much, Carmen.
Thank you, Carmen. And we're not going to mispronounce that again. Although you make me hungry for opera. All right, what time we got, boss?
It is exactly.
Oh! Thanks, Rachel.
8:41 and 21 seconds.
Excellent. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ginger, your connectionist and guide today. Segment 3 of the 5-day connecting challenge. Got a live studio audience in here. Off stage to my left, fabulous friend and colleague, Robin, and behind the camera, actually to the side of the camera because he's got it really funked out, is Sean. There's his hand. That's really his hand. That's his thumb. My arm is not that long, and it definitely wasn't Robin. So welcome to segment 3 of the 5-day Connecting Challenge. Thank you for those of you who are joining live, first ever effort filming live, and tons of fun, learning a lot. Appreciate your comments, keep them coming. You can put them there to the left in the YouTube page. So we've covered some ground already. Segment 3 is choosing your path. What got us here, speaking of paths, is we learned about the first move, making a contact and learning how to connect. The second segment, which if you're coming at it after, you can click on these videos to watch them and catch up if you like, was the why in the road. And that is making the choice of going forward with the contact and turning it into connection, or saying, nope, not the right one, I'm gonna go find another one. So segment 3 is choosing your path, moving forward from the why. I'm gonna share some stories and tactics today. We're gonna start with mindset, and then we'll wrap it up. So we're good to go? Let's go. Simplify. That's what this is about, folks. So first of all, mindset. Mindset is your attitude. It's where your head is at, so to speak, when you are engaged in an interaction. Your mindset, to me, is required to be open in order to be a really good connector. If you're not open, you're thinking about other things and you're not in the moment. My friend Jane says, I've never met creatures who are more in the moment than dogs. Dogs are totally about mindset. I got 2 of them in my backyard right now. They're a little noisy, so they're not in right here right now. But they are totally in the moment. They are totally connected to what they're doing at the moment. And that's the mindset which will serve you the best. And by the way, by serving yourself, like Maya brought up in an earlier video, if you're true to yourself, if you're serving yourself in really positive ways with that really open mindset, then guess what? You'll serve everybody else a lot better too. That's what connecting is about. Making sure you're being authentic. We'll overuse that word one more time. But we've taken the first move, we've hit the why in the road, and now what? Now what do we do? Made a contact at the grocery store or at a business conference, and they said yes. Now what do I do? I'm so glad you asked. Here's story number 1 to illustrate. So say you're at a business function like a conference. You've been in the conference all day, and even though you're looking forward to a little R&R, a little peace and quiet in your hotel room, you still have dinner to go through. So this is the why in the road. You've attended the conference, that was your first contact. The why in the road, like I'm going in for dinner, you chose yes. And now you are wondering, well, where do I sit for dinner? That is moving forward. That is choosing your path from that why. So you come to a table and you say, is this seat taken? And you got a yes, join us. Great. There's your why. Helped make that choice by the people who were sitting there. You've decided to join them, which is that why in that story. And now what? So you've got that plate of food and you're prepared to sit down. Do you sit right next to somebody? Or do you do the 2 guys going to the movie house and you leave a seat between you 2? You ever seen that?
Yes.
I don't know why some people do that. Anyway, the answer here is, do I sit next to somebody or do I leave a space between? I would encourage you to sit next to somebody. Here's a few reasons why. First of all, the chairs are generally spaced by the professional hotel team or the conference team to be reasonable. You still have some elbow room. Nobody is in your face, sitting on your lap. You know, these are reasonably spaced seats. I'd encourage you to sit next to somebody because it's easier to talk in a conversational tone. You don't have to yell. What if it's a noisy room? What if there's a whole bunch of people? What if there's only 10? If you've got 3 or 4 feet between you, it's harder to connect. So you're making it harder on yourself and you're making it harder on them if you have to lean over and what's that and get repeats and those kinds of things. It also avoids so I'm sitting down at the conference dining table and they're sitting across the table from me because for some reason I've left this ocean of space and now I have to stand up, make sure my napkin doesn't fall to the floor, make sure I don't tip over a water glass in trying to reach them maybe with a handshake. So which would you prefer? Why don't you just sit right next to that person? If it's not a great fit in the end and you don't make a connection, no big deal. You still had your dinner, you sat next to somebody. Chances are good, though, that it's going to seem unique to that person. Oh, they sat right next to me. They should expect somebody to sit next to them because there's a chair. Again, this is not about being creepy or being pushy. Maybe you want some time to yourself. Fine. Do whatever you want. I'm here to help you learn connecting tactics in everyday scenarios so you can get more comfortable, more confident. That first move, the why in the road. Now what do I do to choose that path? So we're at the conference, we have the plate full of food, we sit down right next to somebody, and we start to have a conversation. Boom, there you go. You're in, like Flynn. So those are some benefits too. You don't have to talk in a loud tone. It can be conversational. You can make better eye contact. You can shake their hand. You can exchange your business card if that's a natural way that you go, whatever it might be. It's way easier to connect to somebody closer to you than farther apart. So those are some reasons why I would encourage you to sit right next to those people. So the tactic is sit right next to somebody at the conference table, at the dinner, at the breakfast, whatever it might be. I mean, think about it. Why are you at that conference? Theoretically, you're there to learn, and I think one of the biggest elements for me is, yeah, I want to learn. However, I want to meet people. It's a rich area for connecting. It's so cool. Robin, to my left, met somebody who she has long admired in her industry simply by making that first move, getting the why in the road, and saying, you know what, I'm going to make this work, and then connecting. That's a perfect example. The relationship is on the grow. Everything can happen with that. I think that's so cool. Sit right next to the person you want to sit next to. So that's both literal and metaphorical. You can woo-woo out on that if you want. Story 2, you're at a business function, say a conference. You've been at this conference all day. You're looking forward to some R&R. No, I'm not repeating. Well, I am repeating myself. I'm giving a slightly different twist on this. And you still have dinner. So you've made the first move. You've attended the conference. You've hit the Y in the road. It's dinner time. You're going to have something to eat. You ask somebody at a table with a free seat, is this seat available? They say, no. Sorry, the seat is taken. Oh, you know, it's not a hard stop. It's okay. Nobody's going to die. All you need to do is say, okay, great, enjoy your meal, and you move on. What an opportunity. You just had another Y in the road, even though it's probably not what you expected. Well, go find. There's probably other tables. When I go to a conference, I look at sitting with people one of two ways. I either find a table of people I don't know yet, and I plop right down next to one of them, and sometimes I don't ask if the seat is taken, because I assume that if it's not tilted or there's not something on somebody's plate, that it is in fact open, and I'm going to sit down and see what I can do. The other thing I'll do is I'll start a table. It's fascinating to start a table, 10 seats, because the dynamics, you get to be the guinea pig, you get to see it happening. Who comes and sits at your table, and do they come with a cluster, or do they come by themselves? So there's all kinds of fun experiments as I see them as a connector. So that first table said, the seat is taken, sorry, you move on, you find another spot, you look around, you find another spot, and if you're with a colleague and you're looking for 2 spots or 3 spots or 5 spots, I would encourage you to divide and conquer. That's the tactic here. So find a spot to sit if you're with other people, and even if you're by yourself, that is not next to somebody you already know, because you already know them and you can encourage that relationship along however you want to after the fact. Let's go and find a new connection. Let's find somebody new to contact to see what we can engage in and see where we can take it. See if there's something we can do for them, see what they're up to, learn something new about somebody. And by the way, when you sit down next to somebody and talk, it doesn't have to be all business. Some people get really tired of that. Why don't you make some banter about something else that feels pretty neutral, upbeat topic, safe topic, and see where that can take you. I wrote about a gentleman I met years ago on a hike after a professional event. You can read it on my blog at gingerjohnson.com, and the gentleman's name is Don. I'll just give you that. You can go look up the article if you want. Perfect story of connectivity. It was so much fun. I had no idea who I was walking behind on the hike. Turns out that he had some wherewithal, and we've become friends, and he's great. That happened with the first move. I sat right next to him, so to speak. I was next in line on that hike. So the sitting is metaphorical. It can literally be the next seat over. It can be in front of somebody, behind somebody, waiting for the film, whatever it might be. But just take that first step and sit next to that person. See what you can do with that connection. Keep it comfortable, keep it cool. Follow that first move in the Y in the road with those tactics, and you're going somewhere. You're on your way to being a master connector. So that's the big idea here. The first move, the Y in the road, and now the choosing your path. All of those are 3 elemental steps to becoming a more comfortable and confident connector. Some people ask me, like, Ginger, you're so good at this already, so how do I even start this? That's a really fair question. And even though fair is not my favorite F word, it is one that is a reasonable question, because I can guarantee you folks, I was a pretty quiet child. I did not come out this way. I came into being this way. I left my mind open. I've tried different things. Some things work, some things don't. I also hang out with people who teach me something. I'm connected with people who I can watch and learn from. That's a sidebar that we'll go into in the future. Connecting yourself with people who can help you learn without being a Klingon, without being a third wheel, is really a smart tactic to get better. If you want to know something, learn from somebody who knows more than you do in one specific area. It doesn't mean they're smarter, doesn't mean they're better, doesn't mean they're more attractive. Could be. But it means that they know something you don't know, and so that's what you want to keep learning. A connector realizes that the whole world is out there. There's so many people you can meet. It's learning to choose the contacts, those first moves. It's learning to what to do with the why in the road. Do I keep going? Do I stop? Do I go somewhere else? And then it's choosing your path from there. It's really a powerful component in meeting people on purpose and with purpose, which to me is what connectivity is all about. So in the previous 2 segments, you saw those. If you're tuning in live, thank you so much again. If you are coming to this after the fact, you can visit the other 2 segments that were filmed before this. Click on those videos and watch to your heart's content. Feel free to share. And so now you've made it through all 3 segments. Woohoo! Congratulations! Give yourself a cup of chai. And I want to let you know that if you like this, then you can tune in for more. I'm going to launch another series. I'm going to offer another series of a 6-part series talking about connectivity, learning how to be a better connector, more confident, more comfortable. Because face it, everybody needs this. Tony Robbins needs this. Martha Stewart needs this. I need this. You need this. And when we learn to be better connectors, we make the world a better place. I don't think that's overstating or being grandiose. I believe it because I can see it happening in the worlds around me. Pretty powerful, and it's completely in your control. So if you liked this series, if you found it useful, then you can let me know. Send me an email, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. I'll keep you in the loop for upcoming series. I've got the intro series starting in February 2018. If you're interested in that series, shoot me an email, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. If you're watching this after that date, then you're still welcome to go to gingerjohnson.com. You're welcome to send me an email and say, Ginger, what do you have coming up? And I can share with you what we've got going on teaching connectivity. I do professional speaking, training, coaching, and if you're interested in any of those services, I'm not going to hard sell you here. It's going to be up to you. I only want to help the people who want that guiding and connectivity expertise. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Robin, for being in the studio audience. Thank you, Sean, for filming. Thank you, everybody who's on live. I'll take a couple more comments after I wrap up here briefly. If you're interested in that 6-part series, you can send me that email. And if this was enough to get you going, I hope it was useful. No, I don't hope. Hope is not a business plan. I trust it was useful and enjoyable, and I'm grateful for you all being here. So go forth and connect. Have fun with it. Send me any questions you have, and we'll keep going. So connecting on purpose and with purpose. Cheers.
Nice. So Maya and Carmen are trying to connect.
Oh, splendid.
Do you have both of their contacts?
I do.
So maybe you could,
if they give me a yes, I'll connect them via email.
Yeah. Let's see if they're cool with that. And in the meantime, would you please sign into your laptop, please?
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Did you stop the filming?
Not yet.
Okay, so we're still going.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had a good joke. Don't even know any knock-knocks. Maya and Carmen. All right, splendid.
Carmen says thank you. Yes. So.
Thank you. Absolutely appreciate it. This is great.
Woohoo! Yes, please. So yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Where did woohoo come from? I want to know that. Woohoo! Doing the connecting dance. Look, perfect testimonial. Right. 2 new people connected online right here. Maya, remind me where you're at right now. If you type that in, I think you are not on this continent. If my memory serves correct, I think you're in Latvia. I feel like Jeopardy.
Right.
Carmen is Latvian. Let me see.
Ooh, but I think that Maya is. I would never call her a broad, but I think she's a broad. So. Rachel's in DC. Everybody's spread hither and yon. Very exciting. Oh, and before I forget.
Is half Latvian.
Okay, splendid. And the other half, Amazian.
Actually in Oregon right now, but trying to move that way.
Oh, come visit, Maya. Got a guest room. Yes, the Connectivity Canon will be coming out this spring as well. I'm writing it right now with my editor, Julie, who was also tuned in earlier. Not sure if she's still here, but Big shout out to professional editor. If you ever write a book, hire an editor. Seriously, save yourself that. Just like a filmmaker, just like a real estate agent, just like a professional speaker. If you want it done right, hire the pros.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. So I think we can sign off. Thank you again for joining, if you're joining live. Thank you for being here, although I'm not sure if this will make the B-roll. If you're not joining us live, and go forth and conquer. Cheers.